Hey everyone, brand new 2D action platformer Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is upon us, and we have with us the director and producer David Jaumandreu to talk about it. Also joined with me is my castmate from Beyond, Nick Maillet. How's it going, guys?
Beyond.
Hello.
David, I absolutely love Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. As a old in the room, somebody who grew up playing the originals, it brought back all the feelings I remember. The fun, the rage, the frustrations, the oh yeah, I just did that kind of moments from playing Ninja Gaiden, and I am very, very happy that that this exists. For those out there who maybe be on the younger side and don't know what Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is, give us a quick setup for what they can expect when they get their hands on it.
Well, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is a new episode in the 2D series of the game. So it takes us back to the settings of the very first episode of the NES series. And it's an exercise of trying to capture what made Ninja Gaiden so great back in the 80s and 90s on the NES, and also take some of the essence that has made the series so legendary in the present day platforms.
Yeah, there's a good deal of platforming in this one, and but I never felt like punished going through it. I felt like it was all very manageable. Now, granted, I haven't gone through the hard mode playthrough yet to see if there's adjustments to that portion of it yet, but it was always felt like it felt so like rhythmic. I felt like there was like such a good rhythm as I like bouncing between enemies, bouncing off their projectiles, landing on various platforms, and then hitting zip lines. There's all types of stuff, but yeah, the platforming in this is fantastic, and it just feels so good. Now, David, you guys are no strangers to solid 2D action games. You guys have the fantastic Blasphemous series that under your belt. How did Ragebound come to be? Did you guys pitch to Koei Tecmo? Did they just call and be like, "Hey, we like Blasphemous. You want to make a Ninja Gaiden game?"
It was actually kind of something like that, something you wouldn't expect ever. And it was because of Blasphemous, but the ones who called were actually Dotemu, the publishers who had played the Blasphemous games. They loved them, and we were like kind of lucky enough to be in their radar. So when they had the opportunity to bring the series back, they thought of us. So it wasn't a call, it was an email, but then that followed a call, etc. And yeah, when we found out that the opportunity was real, we started working on a pitch because it was an opportunity that we knew that we had to get. So we worked like really hard and get a pitch document, send it to show what was our vision of a new installment in the 2D series. And fortunately enough, they loved it. Koei Tecmo loved it also, and that's basically how it came to be.
Hey, it's got to feel good to have your past work just kind of speak for yourself and create opportunities. I'm very happy the team. I have myself and a bunch of other staff members love Blasphemous. So like, I know they're very excited to get their hands on this one as well. So what are some of the things that you guys kind of, took from your lessons, like making Blasphemous 1 and 2 and that kind of helped with developing Ninja Gaiden?
There's a lot. Actually, when we talk about like looking back, even in Blasphemous 2, it was like looking back to Blasphemous 1 and the DLCs and saying we've learned so much from all this process. Like in a lot of aspects, like our pixel art has gotten much better through time. Our design process, our pipeline, our art pipeline, our programming pipeline. So it kind of like the team has been evolving at an incredible speed through Blasphemous 1, the DLCs, Blasphemous 2, and now Ninja Gaiden. And we've like taken a lot of lessons in team management, in being kind of more effective, like our work hours to be more productive, to be like more streamlined, working together as a team. That has really like the processes. We've kind of like evolved a lot professionally into being a studio that that is very, very efficient with its work. And And of course, like lots of stuff, animation techniques, programming stuff, like the engine, we've like borrowed a lot of the foundations that we established with Blasphemous. So yeah, there's a lot of, even if the games are like very different, like there's a lot of Blasphemous 1 and 2 on Ninja Gaiden.
That's awesome. So obviously, you know, Ninja Gaiden is known for their protagonist, Ryu Hayabusa, but outside of the early level, you don't really see much of him until, you know, I won't spoil for people who are going to be jumping into it. How did you guys decide that, you know, you would kind of go away from Ryu and give us not one, but two protagonists?
That's kind of a long story that took a lot of the time and energy in the beginning of the game. The thing is that when we thought about like taking the series back to its roots, what we started with was not with the character, but with kind of the feeling, the setting, etc. So we thought like, hey, we haven't had a 2D Ninja Gaiden since the mid-90s, and how do we go back to its roots? And we thought like, you know, like the best idea after brainstorming a lot was to go back like to the emblematic first NES Ninja Gaiden, which is probably the one that left a bigger impression, I guess, in everybody. So everybody like remember the iconic introduction with the two ninjas fighting. So we thought it was like kind of the best scenario to put the series back to, like that people would recognize it and say like, whoa, I want to dive into this again. Problem was like Ryu has to go to avenge his father in the United States during that episode. So at the same time, like the aura of Ryu is really powerful, and it was like also a huge responsibility to take that beloved character and, you know, make some new adventures. So we thought like, hey, we really want to put it back in the first game. That forces us like to think about a new protagonist. Can we make one? So we started like brainstorming that, and we thought about a ninja that would be an apprentice and related to Ryu. That's what when Kenji started coming to be. But there was also this strong idea in the design team that we love the Black Spider clan from Ninja Gaiden 2 and 3, the 3D series. So wouldn't it be like super cool to be able to control one member of the Black Spider clan? So after like kind of evolving the stories, it was like a very memeable, why not both? And we started to explore that idea, and designers were really excited. Like, hey, with two complementary characters, we could do create a lot of amazing gameplay mechanics, and so we started like kind of playing with that idea of having like a dual protagonist, etc., and like holding the weight of a new protagonist, having such a great protagonist as Ryu Hayabusa, like this shared weight between the two. And yeah, we kind of proposed in the end the idea to the Temu. They loved it. Back to Koei Tecmo, they liked it also. So yeah, that's more or less how it came to be.
No, it's great.
Were there ever plans to have Ryu as the main character of this game, or was it pretty early on that you guys realized like this would be a side story?
It was quite early on because of what I explained. So yeah, of course we thought it at the beginning, but yeah, we kind of quickly went to the new protagonist thing.
Cool.
Nice. What are some of the, you talked about how you and the dev team were really excited about adding a Black Spider Ninja Clan member to your protagonist roster. What are some of what was yours and some of the other teams like really favorite things about Ragebound that Ragebound does? Like maybe things that you guys weren't able to do in Blasphemous because it didn't just fit, but it's like, this is really cool. We could put this in Ragebound.
I know that like the animators were really, really excited to make like a very lightweight character with very swift animations, because the Penitent one and Blasphemous in general takes a lot of inspiration in the Souls genre, so the animations are very, very, very detailed, have a lot of weight to it, like the combat has a lot of weight. So when they jumped on Ninja Gaiden, they were like really excited to make like very swift moves, moving around the character. So the designers too, and we kind of like are really happy how the agility of the characters have turned out. Like the control that has a lot of input predictability and immediacy to it, right? Like you can like cancel almost every move in every move. You can like flow through the screen with an agility that wasn't seen in Blasphemous. So that was one of the things that we really focused on creating in the animation side, in the graphic side, in the presentation side, but also in terms of gameplay, which was a challenge, and animation, which was also quite a challenge and an adaptive process.
Yeah. No, yeah, you talked about going into that flow state, and I mentioned it a bit briefly in the intro, but yeah, it just all flows so well together. This bouncing between enemies that, most enemies, for those who haven't played it yet, most enemies are one-shottable outside of bosses, but then there's slightly stronger enemies, but you guys have the auras that you can get to enchant your next strike, which does big damage and just really keeps the rhythm just really fast-paced. So like I can see why your animators were having a good time like messing around with the stuff, because I had a good time just seeing it all in action. You guys actually did like a blog post a little bit before launch talking about the art and such for this one. Can you talk about what it was like kind of doing this pixel art kind of style in modern days compared to like when it was the 2D releases back in the 80s and 90s?
It's great because we don't have restrictions, technical restrictions. So like the restrictions that we put is like an artistic choice. Like why do we put like this resolution? Is because the art director, Nerkin Jesus Campos, thought that it would be like ideal to have like a big character with kind of enough detail, but at the same time the right amount of pixels to make it like really stand out, pop up, and be able to create a lot of content through that. So the good thing about it is we don't have any limitation. This applies particularly to color palettes, which were like very, very limited back in the NES, aside from resolution. So we can give like the scenery a lot of depth. And we can play also with a lot of contrast, so that the scenery is easily read for the rhythm, the high rhythm that the game has. So yeah, like getting rid of kind of this hardware-based restrictions gives like the pixel artists a lot of liberty that back in the day they didn't have, and they had to come with very ingenious solutions to represent what they really wanted. Like getting all of this out of the equation, I guess that makes them be able to express themselves better and give what the game needs.
No, makes sense. Yeah, definitely did not have any readability issues. I could see all the birds that were coming at me this time around. For the young ones, the birds in Ninja Gaiden were some of the most hated enemies, some of the simplest enemies, but the most hated back in the day, because they always came on screen right as you started to jump over a big gap. And you're like, can I make that jump? Yeah, I think I can make it. Here comes a bird to ruin your day. And you guys included some fun I forget what they're called, but the little pink guys that run around the ground and jump at you. Kind of felt like you guys took that kind of inspiration from the original. Was that kind of the case? Were those your guys' birds?
100%. 100%.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. We went back a lot to the originals to take like not only like ideas and inspiration for the enemies, but also like to actively introduce some that remind players of them, both on the aesthetic side, even though sometimes it was kind of hard to make what that enemy was because of the limited amount of pixels, and somebody remembered that enemy was something and the other said no, that was something, and we were talking about the same enemy, but everybody kind of remembered it from like in a different way. So yeah, we definitely took a lot of inspiration on the original material.
That's amazing. It's fairly common for developers, especially when you guys have, a series that's been popular and taking on a new franchise where you kind of put some little winks and nods to your own, your studio, your other games. There's a moment in Ragebound where you're going through a city and you can see billboards with has the game kitchen in the background as well as the publishing company for Dotemu. And like, is there any like Easter eggs or little things you can share with our audience that that aren't super spoilery? The things that like the most diehard like Blasphemous fans might know.
There's a few animals in the background that you might recognize from appearing in Blasphemous. There's the logo that's pretty obvious, but that's why we also included like Koei Tecmo and the Tecmo. We got approval from all of them. And now that it's kind of becoming public, and I've seen like a few Reddit posts that already have that information, you'll find that if you meet certain conditions, there's some cool unlockable skins, and you'll find big Blasphemous reference on that one, besides other reference that I don't want to spoil.
Nice. Yeah, I still got to go through. I'm missing 2 of the secret scrolls. I got to grab those and finish those secret levels, and I think I'm missing like maybe 8 or 9 collectibles or so between the beetles and the skulls to pick up. So I'm very much looking forward to doing that and my hard mode run. So I can get that revenge on Ryu doing an Azuna dropping me on the first time through. What was the process of like putting Ryu as like fighting, like that decision of having you fight Ryu right at the start? Because, that I feel like that's something that like, was there any pushback from Koei Tecmo about you like fighting against Ryu?
No, there actually wasn't. Like the whole relation with Koei Tecmo and particularly Team Ninja has been like really swift. So
Awesome.
They kind of let us like kind of propose ideas. So they said at the beginning, hey, this is our IP, this is kind of our rules, etc. But from that, like, let us hear what you have to bring on the table. So that is one thing that we put, like, hey, to explain the story would be cool, like the Ryu teaches you the basics of the game, the new stuff that we're introducing, etc. And like taking a lot of inspirations from the Soul series. It's cool like to have a boss in the beginning that you don't need to beat, but it kind of sets like the level of skill that you will be needing further into the game. And you're still Ryu's apprentice. You cannot beat him. So even if you do, you will always get your ass Izuna dropped. even if you get a nice reward, you will get that. So we came with that idea, and believe me, we spent an insane amount of time animating Ryu for only that scene. But yes, Ninja Gaiden fans, I think it was worth it.
I agree.
You totally just asked the follow-up question I was going to have is, what happens if you beat Ryu? I tried about 6 times and just finally gave up. So it's good to know that, it's not meant to be defeated.
you can, but you'll get Izuna dropped.
Either way. You mentioned you dropped a little nugget of like they're like, hey, this is our friend, this is our IP, this is like kind of our guidelines. Was there anything that you guys at one point pitched and they're like, no, we can't do it, no, you can't have this in Ninja Gaiden? Anything that you can share? I don't want to get you in trouble with Koei Tecmo. I would love to see you guys do a Ragebound too.
No, I'm actually thinking of it, and I don't think so. Actually, they were like super assertive, like even in the in aspects such as the Ryu thing when we proposed, like they told us like, how does Ryu look? So we kind of like made a sprite, send it over, and say like, well, this looks great, or needs a little bit tweaking here and there, especially like in the portraits, in the close-ups, etc. They would kind of correct us, but I don't believe there was a like kind of a no situation. So
that means for your next time, you guys get to go bigger or whatnot. You just gotta push a little further.
Yeah, maybe we'll ask like kind of for more.
Sorry.
Yeah, go for it, please.
I was just say, I got a question about the soundtrack. This is a really good soundtrack. I actually really like listening to it like when I was playing the game, and then I've been playing it in my car as well. I read that you got the original composers to do a couple songs on here. What was that like?
There was like a fanboy moment for everybody in the game, especially for Sergio de Prado, the composer. So that was something that I can't remember if we specifically asked for it or we asked for it and Dotemu was already thinking about it, but it was like kind of like, we have to do this, right? Yes, we have to do this. Like everybody was kind of on board for that. And luckily we worked with Kid Katana, which is a discography, and they had like already a lot of great contacts. So we were like, is this possible? And they were like, yeah, it is. We gotta go for it, and yeah, when they contacted them, Kit Katana, they came back like super quickly, like, hey, the three of them are in, and I'm really excited to do this. So yeah, that was like, I can't remember like from which month, but very very early in the project we had that in mind. So of course we first worked, Sergio worked in like kind of finding the sound that we wanted to do, creating some demo tracks, creating some gameplay, etc., and then sharing it with the composers so they knew what we were doing exactly. But it was quite a swift project, and yeah, kind of great working with them. I kind of remember Sergio like kind of sending on some feedback and like, wow, I'm sending feedback to these three legends, that have shaped my my taste for for chiptune music and for video game music, because he's an 80s kid like me. So yeah, it was really really exciting.
Cool.
That's amazing. Just a couple more. What was the biggest challenge when making Ragebound? And were there any like happy or cool accidents that during development that like, oh, we have to keep this in the game now?
My biggest challenge as the director and the producer was having this kept a secret for kind of over 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Because that was like, Ragebound was announced the Game Awards last year, so that's only eight months from now. So we had been working for over 2 years at that moment, and yeah, we held like I was like constantly with the pressure that, guys, this has to remain a secret. Like whenever we talk with collaborators, whenever we shared some document, and I was like, sometimes like even freaking out a little bit, like, hey, but you didn't put somebody in copy that didn't have the NDA and that stuff. It was like more on a personal side, and everybody like, oh, we really want to talk about what we're doing, and like going, I don't know, to some shows or whatever, and hey guys, what are you doing? Blasphemous related stuff. Like I couldn't talk, so that was hard for the team. It's like kind of stupid, I guess, like, or banal, but yeah, it was something hard to do. And in terms of like more talking about the game, we did iterate a whole lot with the concept of challenge, of difficulty of the game. Like kind of we really knew that Ninja Gaiden fans, as ourselves, were expecting a challenging game, but what makes a game challenging in 2025 that feels retro, that feels nostalgic, but at the same time that feels fair, that feels modern, that doesn't feel frustrating. And yeah, that was kind of a journey, like lot of iteration, a lot of where to put things. We did a whole lot of play tests to find kind of the way. When we started also with the hard mode, so we were sure that if people didn't get like enough challenge on the first gameplay, they had like a hard mode that wasn't cheap. That like levels are actually changed, that there are different types of enemies with different behaviors, etc. So we did put a lot of iteration and effort into that, and until we were like kind of satisfied where we were heading for, that was really challenging. And happy accidents, I can't think. I know they are, because fortunately, like the team has had like a very cheerful attitude, and whenever we found like some bug, we quickly like turn it into a meme, and we have like this stupid animated gifs on our teams, like going here and there a lot, and sometimes we even like integrate into the game. Can't think of one right now, but they were
okay. We'll have to keep our eye out for those ones. All right, so what is your favorite thing about Ragebound, and what are you hoping, or do you think fans are going to connect with the most?
I like, as you stated, the kind of flow state that you get in when you're playing. Like we've tested a whole lot the game, and the last things that we were testing was like from beginning to end, especially like getting all the achievements and all that stuff, and having it played a whole lot of times. Because that was something that last week we were commenting on 2 weeks ago in a team gathering. Like I have played it like a lot of times, and I find myself like losing sense of time while playing through the state. So I think that was one of the things that we're most happy with it, like the sense of getting me immersed into the game, like quickly reading the situation, getting like the auras, rolling through, getting some beautiful combo out there, and just like kind of flying through the scene. So yeah, that kind of agility and connection with the level of the monsters, your abilities, etc. When it all comes together, and with the banger of the music on the background, and we can get one of those key moments that feel like really, really good. Yeah, that's one of the things that we look for a lot, and now that we play it and we're able to enjoy it as players, I think it's one of the things that we're most happy and proud of.
That's awesome. All right, we're running low on time here, but one thing I always like to ask our devs are, what didn't I ask you about that you want to talk about for the game? Is there anything we didn't talk about that you want to just kind of put a spotlight on?
That's a hard question. As an old school gamer, I'm a real fan of physical editions. And when we got the news that we were going physical and that we were like having a cool collector edition, we were not only super happy, but annoyingly involved on what we wanted the collector edition to have. So we kind of pitched the map, like the cloth map. We're really happy with that because we worked that a lot on the graphics and the acrylic standee with like the different layers of parallax. That's something that we are really, really happy that we are getting into. Also the pins, and we worked a whole lot on getting an NES inspired manual with its one color illustrations that put like all that stuff. Like we remember it, because I still have my copy of Shadow Warriors, as it was called in Europe here, and we're really happy how it turned out and that it's coming so soon. So So yeah, maybe that's the collector's edition.
Very cool. Yeah, no, that looks really cool. I really like the little pixel stage standee. That's super cool. That's just like nostalgia that you can just look at it anytime you want. I'm gonna have to pick this up now. Excellent. Well, that is all the time we've got today. David, thank you so much for coming on and talking about Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. It's already out now for everybody, so except for the physical edition that's coming next month, it looks like September. So definitely check that out if you are a physical collector, which I know many of our Beyond members are. They like their physical collection. Definitely take a look at that. It's out on consoles and PC, so if you're a fan of Ninja Gaiden, action games, ninjas, check it out.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip from Beyond, IGN's weekly PlayStation show. You can find the full episode over on youtube.com/IGN Games. And don't forget, new episodes of Beyond drop every Wednesday on IGN.com, the IGN Games YouTube, and all your favorite podcast platforms. Thanks again for watching, and as always, Beyond.